Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another brand new episode of Untitled Nonsense. My name is Josh Fauner. I'm joined, as always, by Mr. John Epling. John, how are you tonight, sir?
Doing all right. The wisest of us three men here.
That's pretty presumptuous, don't you think?
Just keep moving on, Fauner. Keep going.
And Lewis is not feeling well this evening. He will be back next week. In his place, we have a friend of mine, Mr. Keith Scott. Keith, how are you tonight?
Good. Doing fine.
All right. So we had a few topics lined up tonight. You were telling me something about Bill O'Reilly. What is?
Okay, so apparently Bill O'Reilly wants to fund a 25,000-man mercenary army trained by U.S. Special Forces and just unleash them in the Middle East.
John is sitting here like he's...
I'm thinking about it. I'm picturing this in my head. I'm just thinking Bill O'Reilly getting this together. Like, I'm wondering what the objective they would give them would be. Just get in there and hunt terrorists.
Yeah,
like,
stamp out terror.
I don't know. People with guns that are brown. Kill them all. Get them. Woohoo! I'd go for it. Yeah, it sounds like a great idea. I mean, what else are we going to spend it on? Science? Fuck that. You can't breathe in space.
Yes, but I believe the point of us going to space is to find ways to learn how to breathe longer in space.
Or we could just kill off the Middle East and go breathe over there.
You don't want to breathe that air. That's my understanding.
It's okay. It's the oil we're looking to breathe.
Yes. Exactly.
John has turned into Captain Tea Party overnight.
Well, it's the difference between not caring and now I care. That's all. I grew up after a while. I'm sorry. It happens.
Yeah, I mean...
I actually care about what happens in the world I live in. I know it's surprising.
I think John got into some hallucinogens or something.
So, are you trying to say you disagree?
What?
You don't think it's a good idea?
I don't think that the Bill O'Reilly mercenary army...
No, I was being sarcastic. Yeah, I don't... I don't know if you caught that or not. I didn't know.
Sorry, I only have two choices: great idea or greatest idea.
I didn't know I was that good of an actor. Maybe you should reconsider me for the role of your movie.
No, I do not think it's. I mean, I think it would be hilarious.
But that doesn't make
it would be like it would be something that you would want to put the Benny Hill music to. Just watching them cross the desert.
Exactly, and on that level, I want to see it happen. Only because I know the more and more I hope for a rational solution to come, the less and less it seems to happen. So I'm just going with, the laws of averages here, and I'm going to say I want complete chaos, so that way it won't happen. And be like, oh, okay, well, that's good.
I tend to think the kind of people that would sign up to be in Bill O'Reilly's mercenary army would be the kind of people that, you unleash them there. They don't really come back because they end up blowing themselves up. I don't think that the cream of the crop are going to be scrambling to be in this.
It's just one of many reasons why it's a
now.
idea.
I think this is going to be like Ted Nugent's audience is going to be scrambling to get in to sign up for this.
Yes,
like the people who go to his concerts. That's going to be the people lining up.
Now, if they could find funding other than taxpayer money to put this together, I'm all for it.
They need to do a Kickstarter.
No, they need to get funding from the History Channel, the military channel, basically. They need to get funding and then just put this all on TV so people can see what a terrible idea this is, and it'll never happen again.
No, actually,
because everyone will watch it and be like, oh, shit.
Since when have we ever learned from the lessons of history?
I'm going to keep drinking this.
No, he's onto something. Reality TV. Now that might have some value. At least it'll generate profits for some corporation somewhere. Keep British cameramen in jobs.
I think History Channel's owned by NBC, right?
Maybe.
I think they are.
Well, we got to get someone that would do it right.
Haven't you seen
SwearNet.
all the what?
What, just send fucking bubbles with them to
The Iraq War, as done by the SwearNet video crew and editing crew. I'd trust that. I'd buy it. All right, that's what happened over there. Yeah, that's also very entertaining. Good job, Michael Clattenburg. You showed me Iraq in a whole new light.
And I'm sure half of the people listening, if anybody's listening, don't know what SwearNet is. I know what it is. It's the station that the people who do Trailer Park Boys started in Canada.
If they're cool, they know what it is. So let's just glaze over that.
Fair enough.
What about the people who liked it before it was cool?
Fucking hipster.
No, I've never heard of it. That's how cool I am.
You will. Don't worry.
Oh, is it taking over?
No, I just mean I'll probably come to your house at night sometime and tell you about it while you're asleep.
That's not scary at all.
You'll wake up and you're like, I'm going to watch Trailer Park Boys. I'm going to give this a shot. And you're going to watch it. And you're going to realize that I help people. I don't scare people.
That's not horrifying at all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what more is there to say about the Mercenary Army? No.
No, I think it'd make a great reality show. I now agree. There's some value to this. I didn't see that angle before, and I've changed my mind. For pure entertainment value alone, if it's televised as a reality show, there might be something.
If it's a reality show, like, are things going to be made up? Like, are there going to be fake IEDs?
I hope not. I hope it's like Survivor, man.
If it's going to be a reality show, they have to take prisoners and train them for this. That would be awesome.
That would be insane.
That would pay off our national debt. It would be so good to watch. Just watch a bunch. It'd be the new Prison Break.
They're
like,
fighting for their lives.
Like, you get your freedom, but you got to join. What is it? Who was it that wanted to do it?
Bill O'Reilly.
You got to join Bill O'Reilly's elite squad of mercenaries to take out terrorism if you want your freedom. Are you in or are you out? Shit, nigga, I'm in.
Why they got to be black?
That could be anyone. A white guy can say that. I just said it.
Yeah, he was. Actually,
you said it in the caricature voice.
He was saying it in the character of Eminem.
I was saying it in the culture of the voice.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're a culturist.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that would be one way to do it. Have volunteers from the prison system,
led by Vin Diesel, Commander in General Vin Diesel of the prison army, the prison mercenary army.
This is the plot to Triple X3.
It's perfect. It would work. It'd make a great movie. World peace and entertainment at the same time. Is there any better idea?
Actually, isn't it the Chronicles of Riddick? I thought that was Vin Diesel.
That's both. It's both Vin Diesel.
What's he got with the prison movies then?
No, because he was the prisoner that had to save America in Triple X.
Yep.
And now he's going to be the commander of all the prisoners that got to save America.
And then
in 80X.
He was doing that in Chronicles of Riddick. He had the special eyes, like 1-800-CONTACT.
Yep.
He had to look with his special eyes in the pitch black. Oh, that was Pitch Black.
Yeah, Pitch Black, Chronicles of Riddick, and then Riddick.
Yeah.
Still. He's got an obsession with being the prisoner that saves us all.
Yeah.
It's because he likes to give people alliteration is that you can keep yourself locked in a cage your whole life and then still escape out of it and manage to flourish and help people around you. Vin Diesel's a beautiful person.
Yes, he is.
This is the solution to ISIS. Right there. You just explain that story to them. They could grow out of the desert like a beautiful butterfly. And they
butterflies grow out of the desert?
They're going to have to.
No deal. We have to destroy Islam first. Anyway.
Anyway.
You're blazing right over that.
So how was your week, Joe? What, you act like you're going to argue it? Whatever. Go on.
Just glance over that genocide right there.
Let's not worry about that at all.
It's not a genocide. It's a
It's a
regicide. Or, yeah, theocide. There you go. No one's tried that before. It might work. You don't know.
Nope, never happened before. Not once. Not never.
Not big enough. That's all.
At least we're calling it the right thing. That's the most important part.
Yeah, because if you don't classify the killings of thousands of people correctly, that's the worst part of it.
That's why they call them grammar Nazis.
So, Josh, how was your week? You sounded like it was very stressful.
Oh, that was the previous 2 weeks that we were off, and that's not topic for air.
Whatever. Anyway. All right, so what else did you want to discuss?
Well, did we want to do... Yeah, let's do Angel Shooter.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Is the mistress ready to do Angel Shooter? Yeah. Okay. So if you've been, if you listened last time we were on, we found quite possibly the worst thing of all time. The worst. It's a story, I guess. If you. It's on a fiction press website. It's called Angel Shooter Action Story. And now, as of right now, when you're in chapter 2, you can't tell if it's real or if it's somebody doing something like a parody. But as you go on, because we last time we talked, there were only 12 chapters. But in the 2 weeks that have gone by, there were something like 20 new chapters?
Yeah. So it's up to like 35 now or something?
Yeah.
And hold on to your horses because we're going to read all of them tonight.
No, we're not reading all of them tonight.
No.
We'll read 2 or 3 tonight.
I don't know if the show's long enough for
that. Yeah, we'll read 2 or 3 tonight because we got to get through them all. Because you have to hear this fucking story. I can't stress to you.
And that Christianized version of Harry Potter was pretty good too.
Yeah. What is it? The Hogwarts School for Prayer and
yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and they pray things.
Hagrid comes knocking door to door to find out if the Christians want to come to church.
Right, exactly, and Harry Potter's aunt and uncle are atheists,
Mm-hmm.
and they're so adamant.
Yes. Oh, and Aunt Petunia's the bitch that has Uncle Dursley baking cookies.
Right. Yeah, because she's a feminist. Yeah.
This would have made a better movie.
I agree.
But that's another time. Maybe we can get to that after Angel Shooter, because I want one fucking bit to pay off on this show. I want at least one fucking bit of a whole time.
I'm an Angel Shooter for the long haul.
All right, good. All right, so I'm gonna get up here from my chair and let the mistress use my chair, and I'll be making comments from the back here, like fucking Rosa Parks in the back of the bus.
Really? She sat up front.
You're the one trying to make me out to be the racist.
I think your analogy is flawed. Just stretching that a bit.
She sat up front anyway.
Besides, she can't yell. That would look aggressive. She'd get arrested.
With a fire hose with the dogs.
I knew this was coming up. I had to run and get my vodka. You can't do this shit sober. It's hard not to listen to it sober.
Oh, fuck you!
Alright, where's here? Here we go. Alright, so we're in chapter 2.
Right.
Did this one have a yeah, it's just the.
Right.
Chapter 2, the. Zyke and the female went into the sauna. Steam was swarming everywhere like a swarm of gnats. Dark Lord will be here in 7 months, so that's how long we have to wait here, Zyke said knowably. Oh, I love the way all of her lines boil down to okay or yeah or just repeating whatever Lyra says.
She adds nothing to the fucking story. She is truly just fucking furniture. With tits.
Yes, and it's very important to describe.
Well-defined tits.
Yes. So they just said they had to wait 7 months. So they did. 7 months later, an evil voice intoned, "Well done, you've come far enough. But you've come too far." And this is where the intro song blares.
Right, the intro song.
I read the lyrics last time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not reading the lyrics again.
Oh.
Go look up the story if you people want to hear that. And I think this is the last time they do the lyrics too. It's not in front of the other parts of the story.
Yeah, much like the Jeep that turns into a capsule, it's never heard from again.
Yep. Well, we haven't gotten through all the chapters yet. It might come back.
That's true. You never know.
Dark Lord, are you prepared to die in hell? Zyke said. Ask you that question too, the scary voice said. Reveal yourself at once, Zyke said. Yeah, the female said also. You poor, naive fool, the disembodied voice said disinterestedly. Do you really think I'd face an ant like you in person? Question mark, Zyke says. I'm actually a ninja, the voice explained. Then a ninja appeared. Say hi to Zyke's dad in hell, the ninja told Zyke. He started throwing 1,000,000 throwing stars, which Zyke dodged effortlessly with godlike speed. Zyke never faced an opponent worthy of his skill in his life. Did I mention I'm a spellcaster? The female says. Do you mean a witch? Zyke says. She got mad and a giant sweat drop appeared over her head and everyone in the sauna laughed, in case there was any question that this was an anime.
Right.
The witch casted a reflect spell and the ninja got hit with 800 million of his own ninja stars. Not bad. Underestimating you was my final mistake, Zyke. I only got into this business because my family is so impoverished, the ninja said dyingly. Zyke made a serious face. If you want to find out more, you have to go to the village of Hamilton. But before you do, I have to tell you, the real person behind this all is, the ninja said before instantly dying. He followed the samurai's code, Zyke says poetically, as a leaf blowed in the wind like a flag. They gave him a Viking funeral in the Pacific Ocean and left town for Hamilton despite rumors of what a barren, dangerous land that is with thieves and dinosaurs and stuff. They traveled in a jeep that can be shrunk into a capsule, and Zyke kept asking stuff like, "Are we there yet?" in a humorous way. He also bought a banjo, which he strummed when he was bored. In the desert, they saw a man with a broken-down, smoking horse and carriage, and they stopped to help. What's your name? Zyke asked with a cool but fierce tone. I'm a doctor, the doctor told them mutteringly. He decided to hitch a ride with them. If you see an evil priest, put the pedal on the metal, the doctor screamed terrifyingly. There's an evil priest chasing you? Zyke asked inquisitively. Yeah, the doctor said. He's been chasing me because he has dominion over the 100 local provinces, and me being a doctor, he wants to use my skills to put a mind control drug on the well water. But I ran away. Anyway, there's no time to explain. Just don't let him catch us, the doctor screamed.
Keith, you look like your brain is broken. Feel free to comment anytime you wish.
I'm sorry. I can't. I don't have words.
Question mark?
Yeah.
Ellipses.
I said terrifying.
I think it's beautiful. I mean, the way that he describes that you've come far enough, but you've come too far, that everyone can relate to that. You never know that if you're doing the right thing or if you're going overboard. It's a wonderful story. Yeah.
It's deep.
And the fact that he can ask something with a question mark just shows that you don't need words to express feeling.
Wow.
John, I didn't know you were so deep.
Well said.
Not to mention there's the whole overshadowing to the whole Illuminati thing, because the doctor here is trying to prevent people from putting mind control drugs in the water, which I think is something that we all, might see on a level in our own life.
Fucking Monsanto.
I'm sorry. I keep hearing this in a New Jersey accent. I just do. I hear it. That's what I'm hearing.
You hear it in a Jersey accent.
There's an evil priest chasing us.
Gee.
That explains why the horse was smoking.
See?
All right, I love this next line. There's like a space, so I guess we've switched to a new scene within this chapter.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. I don't want any communion waffles. I'm trying to avoid carbs. Zyke said,
You think
Yes.
packing on a whole person isn't going to put on a little weight? He's making the right move.
But of course he says it sarcastically in a cool but fierce voice.
Right.
Has anyone figured out how to do that one yet? The cool but fierce tone?
Yeah. I have.
Keep working on that.
Sound like fucking Christopher Walken.
Yeah. I have.
Who but anyone is more cool but fierce than Christopher Walken?
It's true.
Nailed it.
This is the Christopher Walken needs to star in Angel Shooter. he will reprise his role from the prophecy as the angel in Angel Shooter.
I'm trying to figure out the whole communion waffle thing. Like, do they think that's a thing that exists? Was that just part of this world, like the dinosaurs?
Holy Cross waffle irons.
The female had already
The
secretly
phone
fallen
calls
in love with him. The female had already secretly fallen in love with him due to his wit and strength. At that moment, 1,000 stegosauruses attached. To be clear, they did not attack. They attached.
They attached.
Holy shit, it's a stegosaurus. About this in books, the witch said alarmingly. As the stegosauruses stampeded and flew around, the doctor began mixing some medicine. All the stegosauruses died gorily because that medicine was a lethal cyanide mixture that turned into a vapor. That was a close one, the doctor says, as the evil priest watched them walk from afar on a tall ledge, grinning evilly. He was planning to kill them and make slaves of them, in that order. The evil priest laughed. No one could know what his intentions are.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if the person who wrote this was serious or not. I can't tell.
Had to be serious. You see how they feel in the part about how important it is to be well read so you can be prepared for your future?
I did not think about
I'm
that.
telling you, they're genius. They're on the something.
They are. Do you want to set? That's the end of chapter 2. Do you want to set there?
Keep going.
Okay.
We'll do one more chapter.
One more chapter. All right.
Because half of that chapter was intro.
Chapter 3, which is also labeled chapter 4.
Right.
So we've skipped a chapter, and there's an extra character in here that's sort of there for a few minutes and then disappears. Anyway, chapter 3, chapter 4, the tears of the scientist. Zyth, Zach, the female, and the scientist were still driving on the car. Unbeknownstly, I love this word, unbeknownstly to them, a mysterious priest stood up on a ledge way above them, looking at them, laughing evilly with unknown intentions. He planned to enslave the whole town. Hey, let's take a pit stop in this town over here, Zyth said murmuringly. They did that. They drove into the small town that looks like a ghost town from a movie and parked their car on the town square. Be careful, the scientist screamed. This is an even more dangerous place than the place we're going, because the evil priest's associate, Snide Killington, lives here.
Ladies and gentlemen, Snide Killington has entered the building. This is one of my favorite things about this story, Snide
That
Killington.
must be Buzz's cousin.
Snide Killington? Who's that? Zyke asked. The scientist said, he's a friend of the priest. He was discharged from the military because he killed too many people, made lots of enemies. When he got bored, he even killed his superior officers. When they sentenced him to death as punishment, he just killed the executioner, the scientist said. Oh, the female said.
Of course she did. What else would she say?
Of course. Yeah, it's a real problem, the scientist shrieked.
I can see how that would be.
And also, I have to tell you, the scientist said while looking tragic and mysterious. Never mind. Okay, Zyke said.
Never mind. Oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't. I'm still stuck on unknown intentions, and then that's just intentions.
It's just simply a metaphor that sometimes that we don't know what's going on, yet the answer is right in front of us.
They waddled through the town for a while, and then went to an inn. That will be $5,000, the female cashier said demandingly. Bitch. They gave him the money and went to their respective beds to sleep. When they slept, they swear they could see a spy outside their windows. But they figured, oh well.
Oh well.
They woke up and Zyth asked, so where do we go now? I have an idea, the scientist said schemingly. Just follow me. So they did that. He led them into the inner city streets. Where are we going? The female demanded. Bitch. The female said, my hair is getting all dried, or something a female might say. Because this writer has apparently never met one.
Mm-hmm.
Do they even exist?
I've heard tell of them in tales, tall tales,
Which
told around campfires.
speaks to us greatly about the loneliness that this Arthur holds in his heart.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Females are usually from Canada. Okay.
I hear they grow
I've
them
seen some
there.
grainy photos.
Like the Bigfoot photograph.
Uh-huh.
The illicit female, indigenous to Canada.
Oh, look, this one has medium-sized breasts.
I think this is far enough, the scientist said evilly. Snide Killington emerged from a shadowy alley. He had millions of tally marks scarred into his grotesquely muscularish body, probably representing people he killed. He aimed his gun arm prosthetic, he has a big gun instead of a hand, at the team.
Naturally,
that's
why
when
wouldn't
that
he?
information would be revealed.
Right, why wouldn't he have that?
As an aside. Ha 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 ha, the scientist said. No, why? How could you do this? The other ones asked betrayfully. Don't ask why, the scientist said snappingly.
The faces Keith is making here.
Well, they keep adding these descriptors as an afterthought. The ones that really get me, though, are the ones that don't exist, betrayfully.
Mhm.
Right.
The guy was obviously wearing a cloak, so you couldn't see his arm beforehand, and now he's unrevealed it from the cloak, and you can all see it.
Betrayfully.
Just
Yes.
like this guy saying, "Don't ask."
Unbeknownst-ingly.
Right.
Yes.
This guy saying, "Don't ask why," is also more foreshadowing of the whole, puppet government saying that, "Hey, this is bad for you. Hey, why? Don't ask why."
Okay, Zaid said.
Mhm.
Then a big fight scene started happening. Zach Killington fired literally 5 billion bullets at Zaid,
Must be Snide's brother, Zach.
but he missed.
All 5 billion.
All 5 billion bullets.
Literal bullets.
This has the best action scenes I've ever seen.
Yes.
5 billion. That's a lot.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just trying to think, where do all the shells go? All the shell casings, finally
Shells, what is that?
they're on this big pyramid of shell casings.
What do you mean shells? Do you just have the bullet?
Yeah.
Of course.
What anime are you watching?
There aren't such things as shells. You just have bullets. The whole thing fires out at them, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's how
That's what I thought.
Sorry.
Oh no, okay. It's okay. I'm just clearing up. I'm just clearing the air. That's all.
I
reality.
appreciate it.
We have dinosaurs flying around. You're gonna worry about shell casings?
I know. Yeah, I picked that. It's the one detail I pick out of all the shell casings. That's everything else. The stegosaurus getting attached, all of that. It's all good. The shell casings. That's where I draw the line. We go this far and no
Cannot
further.
Alright, this part's for the ladies.
Oh,
Zyth pulled out his huge staff and deflected a lot of bullets. One of the bullets went ricochetingly into their car. Sorry, that was the end of the part for the ladies. One of the bullets went ricochetingly into their car, exploding the tire. Damn it, Zyth and the female said. She doesn't even get her own line.
Right.
They said it together. Now they have to travel on foot, so we never got to see the Jeep turn into a car.
Right.
Anyway, and I'm reading that for real. It says, anyway, Zyth cut Snide Killington's head off. Snide's body slumped over backwards like Frankenstein, and everyone sighed a sigh.
What about Zach Killington? He fired 5 billion bullets and then got away?
Yeah, apparently. I don't even know where...
Well, that's usually what
happened in
happens
the
if you
story.
fire 5 billion bullets. You can't see someone through that. I don't know if you've ever seen 5 billion bullets before, Joe,
I myself have never seen 5 billion.
but some of us live in a bad part of town.
That actually sounds more logical than anything that's happened thus far.
you did say you missed every one.
Oh, where am I? This is a block of text right here. Oh, but then without any warning, his decapitated body jolted upright, bent over, and picked up his head, still leaking thousands of gallons of blood.
Thousands.
He held his
Thousands
head,
of
and the
gallons.
head said, ha 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 ha. Because what else would you say when you're decapitated?
Right.
You need a hand, Zyth said sarcastically, but the situation was too serious to laugh. Zach Killington's head started breathing fire out, but luckily, Zyth learned an ancient technique from an ancient martial arts master years ago to deal with fire technique. He started spinning his sword around like a merry-go-round, and
Okay,
the fire dissipated.
So am I to believe that it's Snide Zach Killington? Or is it Zach Snide Killington?
Maybe Zach is just a nickname. Short for
Or
Snide.
is Snide the nickname? That's
No,
what I'm saying.
I don't see why you would name your kid Zach when Snide is an option.
Especially when your last name is Killington.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't miss that opportunity.
No. It's almost child abuse not to name him Snide if your last name is Killington.
I agree.
He slashed Snide 1,000,000 times, so fast you can't even see it.
1,000,000 slashes so fast.
He
you
already
can't
had
even
1,000,000 cut marks on his body from all the people he killed, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So now he's got 2.
Because he was grotesquely muscular-ish.
Yeah.
Then Snide exploded, and his internal organs went flapping around all over the sky.
Lou Ferrigno, no.
Then Zythe impaled the scientist. And yes, it says scientist. No, the scientist said dyingly.
That's clever because he's snide and he's a scientist. I get it.
Except he might be Zach. We're not sure.
Yeah.
They're both scientists. You got to be a scientist to breathe fire out of your mouth. That's the bottom line.
That explains
And
it.
dyingly is how you say things when you die.
Pretty much by definition.
Yep.
It's a tautology. Why did you do it? Why? Zythe said with tears rolling down his face. My family is so impoverished, the scientist said while dying. I needed work. Snide and the priest extorted me. They said that if I didn't kill Zythe for them, they'd kick my 2-year-old daughter back and forth until she died. That seems like a lot of excuses. He needed work.
What
they
who
also
are we dealing with?
extorted him.
ISIS here?
We need a mercenary army.
Obviously.
Reality show.
Zythe is the leader of the mercenary army.
We're not changing this from Vin Diesel. Keep going.
Those sick fucks, Zythe said. Is it too late? Does it have to end like this? Zythe said with tears shooting out of his eyes. Zythe, take this amulet, the scientist said while handing Zythe an amulet. Give it to my daughter, the scientist said snippily. Jeez, if you're going to be like that, forget it. Zythe took the locket emotionfully. The scientist vomited 60 gallons of blood and died. Zythe and the female cried, but he did it in a less feminine way, and the tears sprayed out of their faces. Anyway, the story was just bound to get more grimmer and darker from here on out, so the rest isn't recommended to children or people with weak hearts. I am reading that verbatim. This is not my personal warning. Zythe and the female got in their jeep and continued to the other town to face the priest, who watched evilly from afar with unknown
Apparently the
intentions.
exploded tire fixed themselves.
Who cares about his audience?
And maybe when it falls into a capsule, it has this self-fixing mechanism.
That's true. It's possible.
We have to infer.
You don't know.
And that is the end of chapter 3.
All right.
4.
Well, the Misters will be back next week for
Good night.
more of Angel Shooter action story. You can read ahead online. It's at Fiction Press. If you type in Angel Shooter, an A action story, not an action story. Angel Shooter, A action story.
I want to start a Kickstarter to get John Travolta to read that in his like most welcome back Cutter voice. I did the Jeep. They rode in the Jeep.
Actually, I watched that with John Travolta as the protagonist, and then Christopher Walken as the antagonist. I'd watch that. That'd make a good movie.
It'd be about as good as Battlefield Earth.
Yeah. I don't care what you think. That movie was great when I was 16.
It was a long time ago, wasn't it?
I don't care how long ago it was. Doesn't excuse how bad that fucking movie was. Holy
There's
shit.
a battlefield. There's ships and stuff and explosions, and I liked it. Whatever.
I love Forrest Whitaker, but I really had to question myself if my taste is that good after he was in that movie.
That's how you can tell he's white.
Are you trying to say that that Forrest Whitaker is an Oreo?
Caring that much about art. Nigga, what you know?
Art? Art. Okay. If you call it art.
I mean art, like as in a form of like movies and expression. And you're upset because that wasn't up to your standards. See, I'm like, it's hard. I'm not even being serious, so whatever.
I know.
I just want this popcorn right now.
Bacon cheddar popcorn. I made it before the show.
That's all right. That's all right.
It's not like bagged popcorn either. It's like the loose kernels with vegetable oil.
That's too good.
Yeah. So, other topics. Oh, it came out today. Super Troopers sequel has been confirmed.
All right, I'm excited.
Yes.
It was a great movie, the first one.
Yeah, like when I was a police explorer for years, and when we had competitions and state meetups and that kind of thing, at night in the like, because there were always like dorm style places where we would stay, so there was always a common area. Somebody always brought Super Troopers to these things. We always watched it. It was great. So I am excited for a sequel to this. Let's see if we're saying when.
It's the only movie I know of to feature Afghanistan animation.
The minimum budget of $27 million, which we've just about raised. There may be a Kickstarter launch to raise the last bit. I would donate to a Kickstarter for Super Troopers too.
I would think about it.
Someone needs to make a Kickstarter for the Angel Shooter movie.
Yes, we need to get in touch with the writer and see if he would allow me to do a script. See if he would allow me to write a script and direct the movie.
I would put my heart and soul into it.
Would you?
Yeah.
Would you be the? Could you be Zyke?
Yeah, I would. I would be absolutely the most amazing Zyke.
Oh, I'm picturing something like V for Vendetta.
And the mistress could be the female. And yeah, I think we can make this happen. I would want to do this.
Game.
Let's see if we can get this done. All right,
We've already established I can speak fierce yet cool.
I'm genuinely going to reach out to this guy to see if we can talk about the rights to do a movie for it. I'll give him like $50 for the rights, and we'll take it from there. I'll keep you updated here on the show. I mean, I'm definitely going to try to seriously make this a thing. I'm going to try to do this because this has the potential to be amazing.
All right, you get it done. I'm game.
All right. I would put Patchwork on hold to do this. I would. That's how amazing this could be. I would need to find somebody to do CGI for it though.
I might know some people. We'll see. We'll see. If you can get it going, I'll talk to people.
Okay.
I might know some people too. Video editing.
Mm. All right. Well, we'll keep you updated here how it goes. Now, what seems to be a perpetual topic for us, GamerGate.
Why are you looking at me? Look, I know what I said before, but I have been reading a little more about it, and yeah, this does go pretty deep. Because not only does it expose people who are manipulative and self-victimizing and things in journalism, just doing whatever they can to get money, to get status, to get attention, to get praise, things like that. But what concerns me is what makes people think that this is limited to the world of journalism. These kind of people could be running our government for all we know.
It wouldn't surprise me.
What do you mean for all we know? I mean, really, what do you mean for all we know?
Which would actually explain a lot. So why don't we just go ahead and open this whole thing up and call it another Watergate or whatever we want to do and just start investigating everyone now?
I would be surprised if someone in the government wasn't like that.
See, here's the thing, and I saw this posted on Reddit by somebody this week, and I was telling Keith about this earlier. What GamerGate has turned into is a bunch of people screaming about how they don't like how squishy these apples are, and the other people are screaming about how they don't like how tart these oranges are.
Okay.
And they're screaming at each other these things. Because on the one side, you have the social justice movement screaming about misogyny and or feminism in video games.
I thought it was
and on the other end, you got people screaming about journalism, the integrity of journalism.
I thought it was about the manipulative means they were using to get certain special interest groups' games put into the media by using manipulative tactics, like basically praising it when there's no need to praise it, or getting other people to praise it because they're friends with them and stuff like that.
absolutely.
And people are up in arms about it because that's not honorable. That's not the way to do it.
And
that's
that is
right.
what I have tried to focus on.
The journalistic integrity part.
Sure, we made fun of Zoe Quinn when it happened because
that's all we knew at the time.
Not only is it all we knew at the time, but to be fair, on the other end of the spectrum, the social justice community is all about name and shame.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that social justice can be good if done properly, but it's rare that people have the good judgment to actually carry it out properly. People always tend to go too far to one side or the other. The left and right, Democrats and Republicans,
and it's always the loudest people that are heard and taken.
The vocal majority has more pull than the vocal minority, and the loudest majority is usually the most ignorant people.
Unfortunately,
silent majority.
Did you see the thing about? I wanted to talk about this too with Phil Fish, with Fez, the IndieCade and the IGF. They're about to face some shit. People from Polytron and IGF and IndieCade were basically involved in paying each other off and
here's what I'm interested in
promoting and each other. And here's the thing: those were all under sealed records. And then suddenly, when Polytron's records got hacked and got dropped, Phil Fish flips out and deletes his Twitter accounts and everything and says, "Fuck this, I'm gone. I just got doxxed, blah, 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 blah," and deletes his Twitter accounts. I think it's pretty interesting that happened all at the same time.
What I think is interesting is one of the companies they've been communicating with and working games with together and getting them out into the media has been DARPA, which means if they uncover all of this up to the top, once it pushes through that wall into other organizations that could be connected, it's going to go into government, which means it could go all the way up if we just keep pushing it and let it happen.
Mm-hmm.
So this could be what we need. This could be where it starts. I mean, I know it sounds like a reach, but you never know.
Right.
DARPA is a pretty serious place, and it has been mentioned in there several times, and there's no denying that they have a connection with them. So you never know what's going on at that point.
I am for the truth to come out in whatever form it is. The actual truth. Like, nothing spun, nothing like that.
Exactly, and I'm just saying that, if people uncover the full truth here, and it turns out that there's more connections going up the ladder, that's great. That could be what we need to get things changed.
Mm-hmm.
This could be the fire that burns down the corruption.
Yeah, and if it does, get shown that it's all the way up in government, it could be the thing that gets the younger demographic voting.
Yeah, exactly.
If we can spin it that way.
So I'm definitely all for the awareness of Gamergate.
Yeah, and it's not. We have never once, ever advocated these fucking nutbags on Twitter making death threats, whether or not they're real. All the bullshit that is being spewed on Twitter, that is not what should be focused on here.
And it also seems like this is very well coordinated. Like, these people have been indoctrinated somehow to believe in some sort of absurdist mindset that this is all right, that this is okay to do. Like, it's very hard to believe that a rational person is going to see everything that's going on, like the big picture of it, and be like, "Oh, okay, no, I'm still in the right." Like, you would either have to have been brainwashed or something to still be thinking like that. So I think that they have been taught to be like this somehow by someone.
So you're thinking brainwashing?
Yeah.
Who?
I don't know. I think it should be pertinent that we find out where these people went to school at, where'd they get their education, where'd they grow up.
On both sides, though.
Yes, exactly. Everyone involved. We need to find a pattern here. There's obviously something big going on here. People need to start looking for it.
Mm-hmm. See, the ultimate thing here, when we talk about what one side is screaming about, which is feminism in regards to gaming, more diversity when it comes to developers, that kind of thing.
So it almost feels like they're just using that as a means to take attention away from the topic at hand.
They definitely
are. They're just trying to use people emotional strings to be like, "No, come here, don't go towards that. Fight this fight, don't fight that."
It's like these grudges existed long before GamerGate.
Yeah.
But one thing, like, you have to remember, video games, home consoles are less than 50 years old. For the amount of evolution that has video gaming has undergone,
exactly, which would explain
in 50 years is remarkable.
Which would explain why only now governments and defense industries are starting to get interested in the platform, in the media itself, which could be why they have planted these people in here to act like this, to defend their interests. Like, we want our games in there so we can get people playing them and watching them so they can believe the things we want them to believe. So we need to give you this mindset so you can fight back no matter what.
I don't know.
So they are trying to draw attention away from the situation at hand. So instead of solving that, they're solving a male versus female problem instead of a injustice in the industry problem.
I'm really wondering, like, is this Coast to Coast AM? Like,
I'm just saying, it's a theory. What do you got?
Does this have to do with the all-seeing eye on the back of the dollar bill too?
Does it not make any sense to you? I mean,
it's pretty fucking, like, dude, it's a pretty big stretch.
Why else would DARPA want to do anything with the game industry, with the game journalism industry? Why would they be in there at all? Why would they want their games in there? Why would they be making video games? I can't answer that,
but to make that kind of conjecture, to make that kind of stretch that it's mind
That's
control.
Why I said it's a theory, not mind control, but like just brainwashing. That's all. Just convincing people that this is what they should do. There are kids out there who play games and they're like, this is great. I want to do this. I want to be like this guy. People are impressionable, and it's possible to impress on things using media.
I think you're right, but you're wrong. It's like, you're right. There's people are impressionable. People are brainwashed. But I think it's all ideology. It's all left and right.
It's not on a huge scale. It's not like I'm saying they're going to get it out and the whole world's going to turn. It's just...
No, but I think you're right. I think on the left, they're obsessed with feminism. They're obsessed with, equal rights. And on the right, they're obsessed with integrity and, all of this. I just think it's ideological. I think people are drawn to that. And I think this country is brainwashing people to think that way.
And what makes you think that the people who run the country wouldn't know that people operate like that? That wouldn't have that level of psychological knowledge.
I think they encourage it. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Exactly.
It's a multi-billion-dollar voting. Elections have become a multi-billion-dollar industry.
No, am I saying this is it for sure? No, it's a theory. I wouldn't be surprised if it came out to be. I'm just saying that this should definitely be pressed forward because you can't. There's really a lot of interesting ways this could go.
I mean, the government is fully entwined in games. EVE Online bought a new server cluster, and they had to get special permission from the Department of Defense to get their server cluster because the only people who had ever bought those server clusters before needed them for real-time military simulations, which is what EVE Online can be. Mm-hmm. So the government,
and even that gets bogged down. So
yeah. So, but the government is very entwined in video games, and not just the journalistic aspect, but in all aspects at this point.
Mm.
And
that even begs the question: how come you're so concerned over the SJW aspect of it? Why aren't you more concerned about the government aspect of it? Because they've shown their presence in there.
I'm concerned about both aspects, but I'm not concerned about government aspect.
But the questions being raised should be towards the people running our country, not journalistic integrity. Like, wait, what are these people doing in this industry? We want to know. Tell us what your intentions are. Is what we should be asking. Why are you using these people to?
Because I feel like there are two problems that need answers here. It's not just one problem. There are two groups of people screaming at each other about two different problems, and both of them need answers.
Well, to answer, yeah, and that's true. I think as well. Also, the you can't have any sort of accountability without journalistic integrity. You can't That's part of the reason for the freedom of the press is to hold the government accountable.
All right, I got you. It's just from my logic. If you solve the higher problem, it'll solve the lower problem. It's like, oh, it turns out they were using these people to get these games in the media, and they were all on their payroll. Okay, that's what the problem was. Let's get new people in here.
But if we had journalistic integrity, we could expose that. That's how you expose.
But if it's being controlled by a high-level department, you're not going to expose that. They're just going to keep running psyops to get people to go on to different issues.
That does seem to be the problem. Like the guy.
But that's why the Fifth Estate was created in the first place. Internet journalism. Mm-hmm. It was supposed to be free. It was supposed to be That's why we have WikiLeaks and Julian Assange and all that.
Well, so in an issue where we have two problems that need heavy attention, the only choice is to make two movements.
You might be onto something. It's just like, you know, when anything good comes up, there comes a guy jumping the White House gate. Squirrel!
Right.
Squirrel!
Yeah. And it's just they keep coming out with, oh, it turns out that they had these security measures that were wrong. And they're like, oh, now they're coming out with more. It's like, why? Who cares about the White House? We don't care who can get in there. We don't live there. The president is hardly ever there. We don't care.
Because that's what they want you to care about. Journalistic integrity and government accountability go hand in hand.
Right.
Which, yeah, it's very hard to take on both at the same time.
Here's the thing,
Because
though.
one hand controls the
Even
other.
if the guy made it into the White House, how far did he think he would make it?
Apparently, he got into one of the side rooms or whatever. He got about 2 rooms in and punched someone out, and then got tackled.
Right. He wasn't going to make it far.
Well, of course, you know, the conjecture is, what if he had a suicide vest nobody knew about? Underwear bombs exist. These are things.
Which is still fine. I mean, yeah, it's great. Why the guy do that? That's crazy. Oh, no. He should be, you know, taken to prison, questioned, and all that. But, you know, why you got to sit there and tell us about all the security that's been exposed at the White House over and over and over? Why does it have to be on the news for weeks on end?
Because
why is it so important?
Mm-hmm.
This is
Yeah, exactly. I know. That's what I'm getting at. Like, I'm just asking the questions, and that the only answers are to, it's like, well, you know, people want to hear about it.
Because
No.
they should have released the hounds. But yeah, I mean, you know, they're coming out with the story that they shot at the White House. There was bullet holes found by housekeepers in 2011. You know, that wasn't big news. But all of a sudden, this is big news. Why?
Do you think the Malaysia Airlines flight was a squirrel? Because, I mean, CNN covered that for months. Like fucking Natalie Holloway.
There is...
That'd be a hell of a squirrel.
There are theories go around that governments will actually create conspiracy theories. So, yeah, basically as red herrings. So when a lot of people say, you know, they did that plane, and now everyone's going nuts about the people on the plane. It's like, oh, these people belong to this, so and so did it because of this, and other people are like, well, these people on there because of this, so and so did it to that. Mm-hmm. It gives all those people that, you know, are looking for the truth something new to latch onto while something else goes on.
Yeah, that could be. I mean,
or it could be some sort of vested political interest, or some entrepreneur paid a lot of money to have that plane disappear for whatever reason.
I wonder if ISIS had anything to do with it.
The general consensus on ISIS is that they're basically a joint operation between the CIA and Mossad to go around and clean up in the Middle East so we can bomb Syria like we wanted to back in the Cold War. And then once everything's messed up over there and we get rid of ISIS, Israel's going to come out and take care of it for us and get their land back for being heroes.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Whose general consensus is that?
Everyone that doesn't watch Fox News.
Polls? POLs?
What?
POLs?
No, not just theirs. Like, it's everywhere I go. That's what everyone says. Otherwise, I wouldn't talk about it.
Everyone says that.
I'm sorry. I go to a lot of political forums on my downtime. You know, after I come back from a walk or whatever, I'll just go check different places.
Stormfront is not a political forum.
No, not Stormfront. Like actual news sites and things like that.
Not a political forum.
No, when you think about it, back during the end of the Cold War, we wanted to bomb Syria, but we couldn't because Russia was like, no, we have our naval base there. If you attack them, then we're going to, you know, mutually assured destruction. Don't do it. War's not the answer. And so we were like, okay. And then Al-Qaeda came along, took care of a few spots. We happened to get some oil that wasn't theirs out of it. All right, everyone has fun. Now ISIS comes along, and they're moving a dead line straight to Syria, straight there. Now the battle's there. They're doing the best to defend themselves, and we gotta bomb Syria because that's where ISIS is, guys. We gotta get them. Freedom. See that? They're shooting at the White House. We gotta get them, guys. They're beheading our reporters. We gotta get them, guys. Remember how we were talking about how that reporter beheading video was fake?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why else would they be coming out those videos unless to incite support? And why would they need to incite support?
I'm seeing shit like they're crushing babies in public now.
Yeah, and why would they need to be putting all this out? Why would they have such a heavy social media presence if they didn't want people to know what they were doing? Like, why is it such a big deal for people to know?
And why would they be targeting Christians if it wasn't such a big deal for us to get riled up by it?
Like, they really want to respond to other people. Like, yeah, put all of our, forget funding for this. Put it all into the military. Blow their asses up. Get them terrorists.
But doesn't Russia still have a port there?
I don't know if they've blown it up or anything yet, but there's only light strikes.
That's why they
going
took
on
Crimea. So they could have a port there.
And they're still working on that.
Well, yeah, because they're going to get the land route through the eastern Ukraine.
Like, none of that's come to a head yet. This is all still theory and speculation. But once ISIS has done its job, once we've bombed Syria, once Russia's done with the Ukraine, then we'll see what happens. We'll see who's right.
What's Israel going to do again?
Get their land back. Basically, Palestine's like, oh, they were all terrorists anyway. It's our land now. You didn't like those guys. Remember, Palestine were monsters. That's where ISIS came from.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would like to discuss the fact. I think I've said it all. Sorry.
They express deep concern over what's going on.
There's no answer to it. I'm sure there's nobody who could disagree with this. There's what other commentary is
Speaking of the UN, what the fuck is going on with, like, after Emma Watson's speech at the UN? There was that fucking social media website that tried to pin Emma Watson, a fake Emma Watson leak on 4chan.
Apparently, because 4chan is where all the GamerGate stuff originates from,
right,
where everyone gets together to plan it, they think that people are trying to get 4chan shut down.
Mm-hmm.
So that whole thing was made. So what happened was there was a countdown on the website for the nudes to get released, and when the countdown was done, it was just basically sign this petition to get 4chan shut down.
Right, monsters. Exactly.
So they think that maybe, I don't know, you can't really tell with that, because that was kind of...
And then I heard something about how, like, a whole new mod team has been brought in, and they're far more...
what happens is that they're saying that the Christopher Poole, the creator of the website, is now dating some girl that has, vested interests in the social justice warrior circle.
Oh, no.
And yeah, basically, well, the thing is, like, no, what they're saying isn't true. It's just been... basically, people are saying it was a tactic to try to get people to stop going to 4chan, stop talking about that stuff, is to say that, oh, the stuff's getting deleted. We got to go somewhere else, guys. Come on, let's go somewhere else. But no, it doesn't get deleted, because I'll sit there and watch it, and we go 200, 250 replies before it's gone.
Really?
So, no, it's all just rumors and shit talk.
Because I'm seeing that all over the place.
I mean, the only thing they're banning for now, since a whole legal thing happened, was leaked pictures of nudes and stuff. Now you can't post other people's pictures without, their express permission, all that stuff. Like, if they file something for it, they'll take your post and they'll go after you for it now. And you can't dox people. If you post people's personal information in a thread, the thread will get deleted.
Oh, no!
But there's ways around
There used to be so much fun on 4chan that way.
They still do it. They just get together in CryptoCat.
Okay.
Or something like that. They'll go to an IRC channel and do it once they get a thing going.
Mm-hmm.
But still, 4chan's not the secret underground club it used to be.
I used to take part in many a GameStop raid when they were new.
I used to do the Scientology phone calls.
Oh, nice. You know about GameStop raids?
I don't surf 4chan. I know all about it, but I've never.
Do you know about the Battletoads joke?
I don't know anything about what you guys are talking about right now. Start with the GameStop raid. Go to the Scientology, and then end with Battletoads.
I think the Battletoads thing started with Scientology, because what happened was 4chan didn't like Scientology, because they were this huge religion that were all about money and insanity.
I know.
Back in the day, it used to be just engineers and stuff on that website, decent people on there before the flood came, and then they were like, well, let's do something against Scientology. So they'd actually go protest, get Guy Fawkes masks.
Mm-hmm.
Scientology would come after them hard with lawyers any way they could.
They had people follow them home after the protests in front of the centers.
Yeah, like they're Westboro Baptist level of crazy.
Yeah,
and
I've seen
the South Park episode. So what people on 4chan did was they put together a website that was preorderbattletoads.com, and it was about the new Battletoads for the Nintendo Wii. and they had a whole commercial for it, and it was hilarious. And the phone number to call was on the website, and it was just every time you reload the website, it's a different number, where it cycles through a whole bunch of different numbers for the Churches of Scientology. So a bunch of people were calling up, Church of Scientology, asking for Battletoads and stuff like that, wanting to know about it.
Wow.
And then it evolved on to GameStop, calling up GameStop, be like, "Hey, you guys have Battletoads?" But that's much less fun.
There were Battletoads raids long before that.
Were there?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it came with the commercial.
Mm-mm. I was doing Battletoads raids long before I had a Wii. Long before Wii came out.
That's sad.
You would just... They would just post a number to a random GameStop somewhere in the country, and you would call the GameStop and ask them if they had Battletoads. That's all you would do.
I can only imagine thousands of people doing this.
And then you would post the response.
Wow.
And then they would be great.
I'm sure by the end
Are you fucking people going to stop calling here?
Yeah. It's much better now that they have Prank Owl and all that stuff where you can do it and then record the call for people to listen to. Yeah.
Good times. Good times. I miss the old 4chan.
Yeah. Gotta move on. I'll find something else.
It's true.
There's other places. You just gotta create your own circle of friends instead of living it out on the internet. That's what I'm trying to do.
People in the 80s miss cocaine.
So, in my travels around the internet, I found this thing. It's a blog from a woman who claims that Lady Gaga stole a song from her when the only tie between them, this girl dated this guy who was a sound engineer. And he had some of her beats on his computer when they broke up. And something like what was on those sounds ended up in one of Lady Gaga's songs. And she sued Lady Gaga.
You never know, because it was the guy who did the Ghostbusters theme, and then Huey Lewis. Huey Lewis had sued him because he thought he made his music sound too much like his, and everyone's like, "That's crazy." No, it was true. He's like, "Yeah, I did. I just listened to it. They made me listen to it a bunch of times and make the song after it."
Well, here's the thing. The judge heard both songs and came back and said, "This song is nothing like the other one."
Well,
case dismissed, and you have to pay her court fees. $1.4 million.
Well, what does a judge know about rhythm? This is a serious question. This isn't a Disney movie I'm trying to make here.
No, a judge has to make summary judgment of if they are similar in structure.
Well, what gives them the knowledge to be able to make that call on music?
Naturally, it would be a specialized judge.
No.
If it were, then I'd
I
accept
doubt it.
that. But if it were,
Or they have access to.
They were like, "I'm George Fowler. What is this nonsense? This doesn't sound alike at all."
They are more likely given instructions by legal experts. For instance, in the Supreme Court, they assign something called a special magistrate. That would basically be a specialized judge. Almost they're agents of judges.
Okay.
Then they come back and inform the judge. If it's something like that, they can do something like that, and then basically they just take their word for it. Whoever they assign. If I was a judge, I could say, "Hey, Josh, I don't know shit about beats. Go find out about beats and then tell me how to figure this out." And then I would just be taking your word for it, and then I, as the judge, would decide.
But as long as they're on the same level, it shouldn't matter.
I agree.
Same level of education.
I agree to a point. It is kind of it's hinky, but what are you gonna do, right?
But what if their education has nothing to do with music?
What happens is, though, that judge assigns another judge
Right.
to go learn about that and come back.
It could just be a lawyer.
It could be somebody who could, go make some calls to a music expert.
I don't understand why they can't just call in a professional. Like, "Hey, you're a musician. Listen to these. What do you think about the tone
It is a
and rhythm?"
professional. It's a professional in the field of law.
Like, how hard would that be?
Thing.
Like, "Hey, musician guy. Here's $100. Listen to this tape. What do you think? It's like, no, they're not the same. All right, good enough.
Because an officer of the court could supposedly be trusted to be impartial. Anyway, it's.
I don't. Impartial's fine. I mean, knowledgeable on the subject. It's just like saying, if someone doesn't know how long it takes paint to dry, and you're like, is this paint dry? Like, how's long? Been 10 minutes? Ask him. What's he think? 10 minutes? All right, it's good.
Speaking of courts and special magistrates, have you guys heard about Scalia? And Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia goes out and he's holding lectures in Colorado and teaching classes on constitutional law. And apparently there was some Q&A where he says, somebody's like, "Don't you feel the pressure from the liberals? You're so outspoken." He goes, "What pressure? It's better than tenure. I'm appointed for life. I feel no pressure whatsoever."
So this woman has written a blog post. Why you should care that Lady Gaga is suing me for $1.4 million. Lady Gaga was awarded summary judgment of court fees because it was deemed so ridiculous. The case was, and she's saying Lady Gaga is suing her for $1.4 million.
She probably is suing her because you didn't pay up.
I don't think that's actually ever going to go through. I mean, I don't think. I would hope that Lady Gaga is just going to be like, okay, let it drop. I don't care about it anymore.
She's probably going to take her for every dime she's got, but you can't get blood from a stone.
Right.
It'll take her for every dime she has, though. She has to have enough to live on, and
That'd be terrible, though.
Listen to how fucking pretentious this is, okay? And presumptuous. You've got kids, college tuitions, classes, boyfriends, your wife, a father, a mother, an employee, a boss, a sister, a friend. You owe money to Visa or ride a bike to work. You swim on weekends or drive a car. You're a regular human. I am too. That's why Lady Gaga is suing me for $1.4 million is about you.
Yeah, she's just trying to get the point across that a millionaire is trying to sue me.
Throughout history, individuals working in lonely places, Einstein, Edison, Chopin, Virginia Woolf, bring ideas to life. Something happens when people go off on their own to create. Something original. Ingenuity, it's called in U.S., happens when men and women tinker in garages and laboratories, scribble in studies or cabins, sing in latrines and bedrooms.
Yeah, I wanted to go bankrupt now.
Plunk guitars made from scraps when the boss man ain't looking, steal moments on a church piano.
She sounds like a sociopath.
Or simply hole up in rooms working passionately to write something, to figure something out, to follow the fire, to create. Without exception, these men and women work alone. Other humans of a different quality and kind prance about in wacky costumes that kill the environment, wear lingerie to their little sister's college graduation, release a steady stream of songs that sound like other people's. This is a different class of person entirely. The performer, the entertainer, the faker, the wannabe. I am the first class of people. Lady Gaga is the second.
If she were making this case on Shark Tank, I would say, see, you made it personal, and I don't like that. For that reason, I'm out.
A little background. I sued Lady Gaga in August 2011 for allegedly plagiarizing my song Judah. My allegation remains that my ex-engineer, ex-bass player, ex-boyfriend, Brian...
That's a triple X right there.
Manipulated and used my Judah Pro Tools session, which he has copies of, as original source material for songs he sent to Lady Gaga. You see, unlike real songwriters, Lady Gaga is, like her get-ups, fake. She has other people write for her, then takes the credit. Happens a lot in Hollywood today. So in spring of 2010, Lady Gaga sent her people to sniff around for original songs for her upcoming album, Born This Way. Remember that song, Madonna's Express Yourself? Anyway, my ex-engineer Brian, like most excellent musicians, was one of the first penniless class, talented but bereft of connections. His associate, DJ White Shadow, however, a wannabe if there ever was one, had contacts, lots of them. You know DJs, right? They play other people's songs, they don't write them. And so the duo, like Kafka's bumbling twins, sent along their versions of my songs to Lady Gaga. Brian, believing likely It doesn't matter anyway. She'll never pick mine. DJ White Shadow believing they're his songs now because he changed them. Whatever. Either way, shockingly, unexpectedly, the Queen of Gag liked them.
Now, well, we know that happened. Now, whether it's actually copied or not, probably not, but she obviously believes it is, and she is very, very angry. You can read it in this. Like, she is pissed. Mm-hmm. She is attacking everyone she can think of in that industry right now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this isn't uncommon for... See, she doesn't... I mean, she talks about Hollywood. She's just like every, blonde-haired, blue-eyed, corn-fed wannabe actress that moves to Hollywood when 1 in 1,000 don't even make it.
I think I got it. I think I got what happened. Here's what happened. Okay, this happened a long time ago, and she's been fuming over this ever since. Ex-engineer, ex-bass player. I mean, well, how's she going to find another guy like that? An engineer and a bass player, and she's obviously not much of a catch herself because she seems pretty crazy and pretty angry. So she's been fuming over that for years. She hears this song come along. She's really drunk. She's sad. I'm never going to find another engineer bass player again. And then she hears this note in the song. That sounds like my song, like the one that Jerry sent to her. Oh my God, this is my song. And then she started a lawsuit, and now it's come back on her, and she's just an idiot. But I wouldn't sue her for $1.4 million.
It's not a suit. She got summary judgment because...
Well, still, I wouldn't want the money. I'd be like, no, how about make it so she has to go to a psychologist for a while instead?
Oh, wow. That would be smart. That would be so smart.
That would have been the better way to do it. Like, she's obviously nuts. Make her go see a psych for a year. I'll pay for it. Fuck.
I think that $1.4
I'm Lady Gaga. I can do that.
Set up a trust fund for... special snowflakes in need.
Okay, so it continues.
Oh, God. Put it in.
A reasonable ending would have been Brian coughing up the truth. Instead, Lady Gaga releases Judas as her song, and when I heard it, I felt a hard, cold stone in the pit of my stomach.
And it's called Judas. It's because she related herself to the song. I'm telling you, she was drunk when she thought this up. Hands down.
Why? Our choruses are nearly identical. I repeat, Judah, 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 over and over, and she repeats, Judah, Judas, Judah, Judas, Judah, Judas, over and over, accounting for roughly 20% of each song. Our verses are both percussive and monotone in style, roughly 44% of each song. Our breakdowns are nearly identical, 12% of each song.
Wait, does she post a song?
No.
Who gives a fuck about her then?
A prominent melody line written by my violinist is the same as her I'm in love with Judas. She pronounces Judas as Judas. What? Among other coincidences. Weird. But not so weird if they used my Pro Tools session, Judah, as source material to create Judas. The chances of the above similarities occurring between two works that share the same bass player, recording engineer, and writer, at least in the case of Judas, would be like getting struck by lightning 5 times in the same place on the same day. But only one of us attended the circus-like depositions, so you'll have to believe me when I say Lady Gaga / Stephanie's recounting of how, she's trying to cut deep by using Lady Gaga's real name.
That's all. She's pissed.
Recounting of how she got the idea for Judas would be enough for any sane individual not being paid off to side with me, or at least grant us a fair trial by jury. As it stands, we've watched Bieber and Lil Wayne's bumble through depositions thanks to TMZ, but Lady Gaga's deposition is protected like Fort Knox. The Lady Gaga Inc. PR machine enacted rules of silence and privacy so thick, so protective that her deposition will never see the light of day. It's a shame. Methinks the Queen would be eating cake herself if the public saw what I did. Anyway, I can only compare Stephanie / Lady Gaga's explanation for how she got the idea for the song Judas to that scene in Working Girl when Tess, Melanie Griffith, easily details her idea's wacky zigzag inception while her boss, Catherine, Sigourney Weaver, bullshits something vague. The fact that a judge declared Judas its own entity after listening to her lyrics alone, which sound like high school English papers in the 80s, riffing on bullshit or borrowing from encyclopedias.
It's like she was watching Sex in the City while she was typing this up.
In July 2014, after 3 years of litigation, a 1934-born, bless his heart, Judge Aspin decided that since an ordinary observer wouldn't be able to tell the songs are the same, I lose. So he's too old to be able to listen to music anymore.
That's right. That's right. His old ears can't possibly hear the similarity.
it does sound like they gave her a raw deal, but she's just so crazy and so hateful that I don't want her to win.
Hey, I'm with you.
She doesn't deserve the money she get for that song. Fuck it, I don't care anymore. Let this fade away.
He was able to shut down the case without trial because of a growingly popular corporate legal loophole gaining steam in recent years, known as summary judgment. That's when the corporate-funded side, Lady Gaga Inc., calls for a judge, one man, to decide the issue. The American thing to do, of course, would be for a jury of my peers to hear the case and decide for themselves. 12 regular humans, mind you, hearing her load of crap would have been priceless. But even that isn't why I'm writing. Copyright law is not so simple, or my case wouldn't have taken 3 years to get blown out of the water. Access to a person's work, in my case, direct from my ex Brian, usually holds a lot of weight in copyright infringement suits, even more so than similarity of songs. But a new trend is upon us. Judge Aspin and the rest of the Seventh Circuit Court don't consider direct access very important anymore in copyright claims. Their most recent rulings stand as a body against individual creators, me, and in favor of corporate structures that put out music today, i.e. Lady Gaga Inc., by ruling that it doesn't matter if your friend gave it to Lady Gaga, an ordinary observer would have to be able to hear that the songs are the same. Yeah, you would have to be able to tell that they're two different, or that they're, they're two different songs.
Well, considering we have a case where this happened, I don't see why she didn't go back and go. Ray Parker Jr., isn't that his name?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ray Parker Jr. and Huey Lewis. She should have went and looked that up and gotten some information about a previous case.
But you can tell those are the exact same songs.
I don't know. Maybe a.
If you listen to them, you can tell they're the exact same song.
I've never tried it, so I can't say. I don't want to try it.
It is literally the exact same song.
Have you listened to it?
Mm-hmm.
And it is?
Yes, I Want a New Drug by Huey Lewis and the News, and part of Ghostbusters by Ray Parker Jr. is the same fucking song.
All right, wow. Yeah, but yeah, if you could tell just off the bat by listening to it, but I guess we can't get your expert opinion on this one because she doesn't feel it necessary to post the song.
Why would she? Why would she?
If
it could be part of the settlement.
Well, we're not 12 regular people chosen to be.
Well, that's another thing. She's totally obviously misunderstanding. This is why they got OJ in the civil suit after he was acquitted in a criminal suit, because they're two different things.
Right.
If she wanted this to happen, all she would have
Copyright
to do
law is civil. That's it.
All she would have had to do is get her song, put it on YouTube, go around a bunch of places going, hey, doesn't this sound like Lady Gaga such and such? Look for all the comments to pop up. Be like, yeah, this sounds just like that song. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Then present that to a judge and be like, I think it sounds the same. Then they would have to get more people than just old Judge Harrington to be like, what is this riff-a-raff?
I mean, look, if they could let Vanilla Ice off the hook, dun 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 dun. Right. And see the ching changes the whole thing.
Now the thing of it is, this just happened recently with Katy Perry. It was found that she did the exact same music, a song to the exact same music as a song by Sarah Bareilles. Sarah Bareilles put out the song first called Brave, and then Katy Perry did Roar to that music. Sarah Bareilles found out, and she was like, yeah. She didn't care.
Yeah, like, I can make another song. I don't give a shit. I'm creative.
Well, Sarah Bareilles had already charted with it.
Yeah.
It had come out before. Like, it was really weird that Katy Perry would use that because the song got pretty popular.
I think she figured everyone else liked it. She'd take the parts she thought everyone liked, put it in her song, get her own hit.
That's true. I mean, that happens a lot with Katy Perry because she has a Christian rapper suing her, saying that she stole one of his beats.
Well, we all know a white woman can't make her own beat, so this might be legitimate.
Special snowflakes. All of them. They're all special snowflakes. Every single one. Individual, unique. They're some special. So special.
What was it you were saying about the Coke thing earlier?
I was saying leave it to Coca-Cola to figure out how to make millions of dollars in profit off of targeting special snowflake syndrome.
And that's
Oh, no, not answering that call. That would be my crazy family member that I talk about.
This is
Yeah.
Why are they calling you?
I don't know, probably something wrong with her car. I'm not going to go touch it or look at it because the second I leave, it's my fault that something's wrong with it now. She's like that. Like, it's the last person she interacts with, everything that's wrong with her lately is now their fault. She's nuts. I'm not answering. No.
Is she still living there?
Over at that trailer? Yeah.
No, they moved out of the house that you were in, right?
You're talking about my sister?
Yeah.
No, it's not my sister. It's my aunt. My cousin's mom.
Oh. Wow.
Cousin I have to go help all the time because she doesn't have competent parents.
Fun.
Yeah. But yeah, no, she's now accusing me of putting a dent in her front car, which I did not do.
Oh.
It's just I was the last one at her house, and then she saw it the next day, and she says I did it. I don't know how.
Right.
She keeps it parked like at the front of the house, and it's not like I can drive into her car. It's not like I'm her. Oh, I don't want to get into that though. That's a whole
Before we digress,
that brings me out of inner peace.
we were, of course, talking about the Coke bottles and cans that have names on the side.
Right.
Special snowflake syndrome. I wonder if they had to pay some marketer to come up with that. And
Why don't we put names on the cans? Like, brilliant.
Disney
$2 billion.
Disney makes money off of it. Why not us?
Yeah.
It's personalized.
It's like Jim Gaffigan in a Hot Pockets bit. It's like Hot Pockets. Let's put names on the cans. Marketing. It's super hard.
Yeah, it's like a custom Coke. Look, it has my name on it.
This one's meant for me. This is my diabetes.
It's meant for me. It's fate. Just like diabetes.
Share a Coke with your severed limb.
It's like if I drink enough of these, my kidney stone will come out with my name on it.
It's like one of those necklaces that has your name on a bead of rice.
Look how many I've had. Everyone shares Cokes with me.
It's a whole new Coke rewards program.
Kidney stone necklace, like a shark tooth necklace. It's my good luck charm.
Oh, wow.
People kiss it before they roll the dice.
Oh
in
my
Vegas.
gosh. So I went to Halloween Horror Nights over a break.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is my third year going to Halloween Horror Nights. It's kind of my annual, it's an annual thing for me. I go every year. I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do. This year I only got to see 4 of the 8 houses, but from what I understand, I saw some of the best and some of the worst, so that's good. The Bill and Ted show this year was really good. It was better than last year for sure. It was really funny. They had a lot of stuff about Donald Sterling in it, and they're always at their best when they have a lot of stuff to make fun of Disney about. They made fun of Disney about Frozen a lot, about these magic bands that they have now
Yeah.
for the CDs and passes.
I've heard of those.
Mm-hmm. Just it was really good. That was good. The Rocky Horror tribute show that's there every year. Rocky was really good. Riff Raff was really good. Their Frankenfurter was terrible. Just terrible.
Can you compete with Tim Curry?
Have you seen Anthony Stewart Head, Giles from Buffy, doing it?
No.
Yes, he did it in England for a while, in London.
Huh.
He looks like an old lesbian.
Which you would expect.
Oh, go for it. The houses that I saw Dollhouse of the Damned, which it was the best house. The only house that actually really got me. And when I say got, I mean like startled me. It was really freaky. Everything from stuffed animals to baby dolls to marionettes to a room that was like an oversized nursery with even like a huge high chair on one end with a guy in a onesie sitting there like a baby. It was freaky as hell. That was a really good one. You doing all right over there, John? Yeah, we'll find out here in a second when he. All right, all good. So saw that one. I skipped the Halloween one because there was one for the original Halloween movie. I'm not a fan of Michael Myers. He's not really my favorite slasher. He's never done it. He has no personality. He has no reason. Like he's just.
Well, that's why people love him. That's it. That's his only reason. You can't reason with him. You can't tell him no. He's, there's reason to be afraid of him because there's no stopping it. It's not like, hey, stop. What about whatever your past? Oh wait, that's right. It's like no. It's just like, oh yeah, what about your past? Oh,
but that's not interesting.
No, it's fearful. A lot of people are afraid of that. That's why he's a big icon.
I want it to be interesting though. I want to.
Well, yeah, but not everyone's gone through all the hardest parts of life, and now they're desensitized to normal fear. But to the general public, Michael Myers is scary because he's an unreasonable killing machine.
Fair enough, I suppose. I suppose I have been desensitized too much.
It's on the same par with Jason.
Yeah. Jason's not really. I love Freddy is my favorite.
They're not my style either. I prefer Freddy over him because he has more substance to him. But,
right.
I get why the other two are scary. I'm not afraid of them. I'd want to be them.
And Freddy's hilarious too.
Yeah.
Freddy has great one-liners.
Yeah, Freddy.
He does it for fun, and that's more fearful because it's like, hey,
yeah. This is
he's gonna find creative,
and he's expressing the glee that he has in doing this.
Like
it's not just stone face.
Right. With them, you're like, oh no, they're gonna chop me up. But with Freddy, it's like I'm gonna invent something. You're not gonna see it coming.
And you're going to be killed in a very interesting way, just for my amusement.
So you're always going to be on guard. What's happened? Is this a dream? Am I still awake? Crap! I don't know what's going on. Did I take LSD?
And it's also as somebody who I'm an insomniac, so as somebody who has sleep problems, it's even like it's got another layer of it to me. I love it, but I missed the year that they had a Friday the 13th house. Unfortunately, or not. I mean, Nightmare on Elm Street house. Unfortunately, I did get to go to the last Walking Dead house. They had a 3-year contract with Walking Dead. This was the 3rd year of Walking Dead taking over Halloween Horror Nights. It was the biggest house Halloween Horror Nights has ever done, with the most scare actors. The people that I was with, the mistress and my mom, they said that was the most disorienting house because they had a room with strobe lights. I thought there was a room in Dollhouse with the damn strobe lights and mirrors that was more disorienting. And, I mean, there were a lot of scare actors in that one. There were a lot of fucking zombies in that house. There we did the, what?
Just the Larry Kingness. Talking about Halloween Horror Nights, just like, yeah, we were in the haunted house. It's like this is underground radio. Just
Midnight Q. Giggity, giggity.
So, we also saw the AVP house, Alien vs. Predator. And this Alien vs. Predator was not based on the shitty fucking movies, thank God. It was more based on the individual properties. And basically, the setup was you were walking through a crashed Weyland-Yutani ship while there was a battle going on between the Predator and the aliens. And you were also seeing the humans that get stuck in the middle.
How did you survive?
Because they can't touch you, John.
Oh, I thought this was really. It's such a story.
Fuck you, John.
Hey, it's no.
I'm just giving a review of Halloween Horror Nights.
All right, I'm sorry.
It's no angel shooter, all right.
I'm just trying to be me. That's all. Don't hate
It's
the player, hate the game.
it's no angel shooter. I'll give you that.
In the Alien vs Predator house, the puppets were really good. It was like the xenomorph puppets and the Predator suits were really, really good. They were some of the best in the whole place. And then we saw the From Dusk Till Dawn house, which is being panned as the worst house of the year.
That's sad.
Yeah. They did base it more on the TV show than on the movie.
They made a TV show out of that.
Yeah, on Robert
Whose
Rodriguez.
call was that? You had one job.
Robert Rodriguez has a new TV station,
Oh, okay.
and that's the first thing that he premiered on. It was a TV show.
If they were smart, they would have just redone the Hard Rock Cafe into the Titty Twister.
Well, here's the thing: you walk into it, and it's not called the Titty Twister; it's called the Twister.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. That's so disappointing.
yeah. I really think that they should take Halloween Horror Nights and make it a 17+ event. Because as of right now, it's kind of PG-13.
And you just can't do it. I mean, unless did they still have the Jello shots going around, the
Yeah.
syringes? I mean, if you drink 15 of those or so, then yeah, it might work. You spend $60 on liquor, then yeah, the houses will probably be effective.
Anything will work after that, though.
Right.
I can
$60 on liquor? You mean only 5 drinks?
Exactly. I could just crack a glow stick and wave it in front of your face after that, though. It would be the same thing.
They had the scare zones back this year. They did 4 scare zones. One was they took, that show Face Off on Sci-Fi? They do like the makeup effects.
I've seen it.
Yeah, it's a reality show for makeup effects artists. And they gave 4 contestants, or was it, how many were there? I don't know, there might have been 6 or so contestants the chances to create a scare zone, create monsters for a scare zone. They had one called Masquerade, which was like a creepy ball. They had one called Bayou of Blood, which was really cool. It was a voodoo New Orleans setting. And what happened the first weekend, every hour they had a show in that scare zone where they would do a fake human sacrifice, a fake voodoo ceremony. And it was really cool and really like gory, and it was really fun. And they stopped doing it after the first weekend because of feedback. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was,
there's a lot of cultures out there that would, particularly like islanders, like Caribbean islanders.
mm-hmm.
My stepdad's Jamaican, and anything like that, to see it in person would probably freak him out. I mean, I don't know. To me, it would depend on how realistic it is, probably. But to me, I could just see him freaking out.
I have video of it. There's video of it on YouTube. I'll show it to you later.
All right.
Now,
was it cartoony? Was it a caricature? Well, then it should be fine.
it was the woman, the voodoo priestess. She had on this headset, and the microphone made her voice all morphy and it was very over the top and cartoonish.
I got you.
It was not realistic at all.
Then it should have been fine.
Yeah. And then my favorite scare zone, the Purge Anarchy. They set up the whole, that area of Universal where it looks like a city block?
Yes.
Near where the mummy is. They set that up to be like the Purge Anarchy.
The zombie area. Okay. So just people running around being like, oh, I'm going to kill you. Like, no, I'm not.
With the masks and they had chainsaws where they take the blade off of the chainsaw and they run around.
You could have made that a real good scare zone if you knew about that beforehand and wore your own Purge costume there and actually started touching people and stuff.
You're not
Why they're not supposed to touch me? Like, I don't work here.
You're not allowed to wear costumes.
Oh.
There was a dude though who was in he was a double amputee. His legs were chopped off, and he was chasing after people in his wheelchair with the mask and whatnot. Like he was an employee. He was one of the Scare Zone actors. Yeah. And every hour there, they had a show, and they kept doing the show because this was part of the Purge Anarchy, where in one part of the city, a van would pull up and capture people, like carry people off, like they were plants in the audience. They would take them and put them in the back of the truck and drive them off to this other area where they were then pulled out and auctioned off for people to purge, to kill. Because that was a part of the Purge Anarchy, and it was a really, really cool little touch. It was and what would happen is during the auction, where all these people are congregating in front of it to watch this happen, scare actors go through and like weave into the crowd.
Right.
They weave in, and then at the end of the show, when they're like, "Thank you," and blessed be the new founding fathers, they all rip off chainsaws at that time, and they're in the middle of the crowd. You have people screaming off all over the place. It was really cool. Now, two things that I didn't like this year. One, there are people that are like recommending that they get rid of Express Pass. And Express Pass is a thing you can buy. It's oftentimes more than the ticket itself, but it lets you skip the lines. There's a separate line for people with Express Pass,
which I'm sure lots of people are jealous of, which is where this is being voiced from.
Right.
It's not fair. People with more money don't have to wait.
And it's not even that I have more money. I don't. I purchased the Express Pass because it is more convenient, and it makes it worth the money for me to go. It takes me a long time to get around that park. I am a fat ass. It takes me a long time to lumber around that park. And standing in those 45, 90-minute lines in that, and I'm sorry, it's hot and humid at night at Halloween Horror Nights with all those people there. It's standing in those lines would be awful for me on top of all that. I would get maybe 2 houses done.
I mean, I've never really experienced a problem with it. I've had a season pass for the past 2 years, and I've been going at least, once a month pretty much. And every time I've been there, Express Pass is, very few people, a couple elderly, some handicapped, stuff like that, maybe a family or two, but it's never a big deal.
Right.
It's not fair.
And they have Express Pass during the day. Like, it's just a normal thing that they have.
Because, I mean, I figure most people are like me, and like, no, I don't want to pay extra for that. I don't need that.
It's not fair.
Like, it's not worth the money if you don't need it.
Right. And to
Unless
me,
you just have that much to give, and most people still don't care.
It's not going to go anywhere because it's the same ride, and they're just charging more for the same exact investment. It's not going to go anywhere. You don't have to worry.
It's not going to go anywhere because it's universal, and it would be losing money.
Well, yeah, they don't have to invest anything more to get more money out of the same ride.
It's like, oh, you guys don't like it? Like, well, here's a nicely worded letter about our apologies.
I'll lay a little industry speak on you here. Industry speak. It's a no-brainer. What, you mean we could charge more than twice as much for the same exact ride? It's the same exact ride, but we charge more for it. Why wouldn't they do that?
Now, the other thing I didn't like, in years past, they have allowed people through with video cameras and allowed them to video the mazes. And people do this all the time with rides at Disney World and Universal and whatnot too. They take video cameras on them. This year, they were telling people if we find you videoing anything, it will be taken away. And to me, that was something that I used as part of the investment. I would watch walkthroughs and choose which houses. Like, because by the time I had gone, like, I forget part of, really, like.
But that's you. You're a very passionate person. You really invest yourself in the things you want to do. The majority, though, they don't want. We live in an age of social media where you take a picture of something, it's going to go everywhere. They don't want all these people posting pictures of their haunted houses and things for everyone to see.
But they still have all the old ones up. Like,
that's ignorant. It's not like it's making the nightly news. They have to go out and look for it. It's basically you're punishing everyone because I can't help it. I've got to look it up and see it. Oh, now I'm spoiled. Now upset.
No, I'm not. No, they're like, well, you'll post it online and people will watch it and they just won't come.
I was just,
Oh yeah, yeah. That's
I just
like
try to play devil's advocate just to try to hit the other side. Like I don't like it either, but I gotta find somewhere to.
no, yeah. I've seen pictures from the top of Mount Everest. Now I don't have to go.
Right, yeah. You know, to me, it gets me ready for it. It makes me choose which houses that I want to spend my time to go to, like, and walk through and see.
So when would whose twisted crack addicted nightmare would a YouTube handycam video of a haunted house be any sort of substitute?
I mean, they do it with like the night vision on, so you can actually see it. But like,
yeah, but
I mean, you know, I know what you mean. Yeah.
How could that? Oh no! See, if you do that, people aren't going to come. They're not going to pay money. They're not going to pay their good money to see something they've already seen. In whose crack addicted nightmare is that true?
Oh, I'm just assuming that. I don't know what the actual reason is. I am high right now.
No, that was literally what they told us. That was literally what they told us in line.
Oh.
If you video this and put it online, people won't want to come.
Well, I just made that up.
No,
I didn't even know.
that is literally what the employee told us in line.
There you go. Interesting. So they basically made the same half-assed decision I did, based off no evidence, while I was on drugs.
There you go. There you go.
Good job, Universal. Like the way you think.
Hey, you know what? They want to think like you. They gotta do what you do.
Raises a whole new set of questions.
Really getting into your brain there, aren't they?
You should sue them for taking your
See,
idea.
the thing is, I think like them. I'm a producer. I'm a big shot. That's why I can get in their head.
See, I'm holding out for American Horror Story houses. Like, they could do a really good house out of Asylum. They could do a really good house out of this coming year, Freak Show. There were 4 other houses this year at Universal. There were 2 originals, Roanoke, Cannibal Colony, which, to me, cannibals are fascinating in real life, but cannibal caricatures, people running around with, you know, blood and guts in their teeth and blood, caricatures like that, they hold no interest to me. Like, I think real cannibals are fascinating, though. There was one, Giggles and Gore Inc. Like, this is where bad clowns come from.
See, I was just about to say something about that, but instead of clowns, they always try to do clowns. I don't think enough people play up the like the Happy Kids Play World kind of nightmare set, like the Diablo 3 nightmare, the cow level for Diablo 3.
Okay.
With like happy little bears, but with like possessed eyes and fangs and blood.
Well, that was in
down,
Dollhouse
like,
of the Damned.
That was?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. See,
Yeah.
I can get in their head. I'm telling you, man, drugs.
That was like Dollhouse of the Damned was all these bad dolls. There was a Teddy Ruxpin mounted on the wall.
All right. They should do away with the clowns and make it more about that. Make it more like a dollhouse kind of.
That was Dollhouse of the Damned, the best one of this year.
Oh.
Yeah. Like there was an oversized. You didn't hear me talking about it?
I did not.
There was an oversized nursery, and you walk through it, and there's like a guy at the end in an oversized high chair and a onesie, like "Mama," and there's stuffed animals that come to life and come after you. There was a marionette room. There was a like vomiting ballerinas, like bulimic ballerinas, like from like a music box.
That sounds good.
It was a really good house.
Man, I wish I had money this year. I'd have gone to that one.
Don't you have an annual pass?
Yeah, but it still costs money for a Halloween.
You get a free ticket.
What?
In your passbook, your little passbook that you get,
Shit.
there's a free ticket for a Sunday through Thursday night.
I'll look into that.
I highly recommend it. That's I went that year that I had my annual pass. I went for free that year because of that.
Oh yeah, I'll look into that then. Thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, that Dollhouse of the Damned is one that I recommend. That was actually the first one that we went to, and I was really glad that we chose that one because there's a split off.
Yeah, that's one I choose too. Yeah.
There's a split off. You choose either Roanoke Cannibal Colony or Dollhouse of the Damned. They have you go either way for one of them, or for choose one. We went to Dollhouse of the Damned because they wrap you all around the back of the park because they're in sound stages at different parts of the park, and there's outbuildings that they put up every year that they put these houses up in, and Dollhouse of the Damned is one of the back outhouses, so outhouses, outbuildings. But yeah, I definitely recommend it. It wasn't as good as previous years, but I would love to see an American Horror Story year. Freak Show would be a great house this year. Maybe what else would I love to see a house? VHS. For them to do something from VHS. They did one for Dracula Untold, but I didn't go on it because I figured I don't really see much that you could do a house for Dracula Untold.
I'd have gone if it were for Dracula 3000.
That would have been great.
Feel like, oh shit, there's a black guy banging a white lady. He's a cyborg or something. This is crazy, man. There's that weird Dracula that looks like he came in a costume store a minute ago. This is creeping me out. Did they have the money to make this? Is this a real house? Did I leave Universal by accident? Shit, where's my wallet?
So this is a movie. This isn't Chapter 20 of Angels.
Dracula 3000 is an actual movie.
Okay.
It's like Dracula in space.
Making sure you weren't spoiling Angel Shooter for me.
It was like one of those movies where they ran out of a budget, so you're like, all right, now everyone dies. The end.
Right, let's just get one by one. Cheapest way we can do it.
Tommy Wiseau. Did you ever see
I love The Room. Oh, it's so good.
Did you ever see that comic? I forget. I don't know if it was XKCD or whichever, but they said basically Tommy Wiseau is D.B. Cooper.
That would make so much sense.
It's literally that's the punchline to the comic. They go through the whole thing. He disappears with lots of money. He appears with lots of money. They have weird accents, both of them.
He's very evasive about how he got the money to do the movie.
He looks much older than he
says he did imports.
Right, he looks much older than he purports to be, and at the end they're just like, "That's ridiculous."
He has a vague
everything.
He has a vague, unplaceable accent.
Yes, that was one of the things. I'm telling you.
There is a very old saying out there that says there's truth in fiction. You never know.
And now James Franco is doing a movie about the making of The Room.
Oh wow, really?
What's his name? The guy who played Greg Sestero, the guy who played Mark in it.
Oh my god!
Made a book about it called The Disaster Artist.
Oh my god!
And they are James Franco bought the rights to it, so they're making a movie with Dave Franco starring as Greg Sestero,
wow,
his brother. Yeah.
So much. What was Seth Rogen doing all these contests on Facebook all of a sudden?
Seth Rogen doing contests.
Yeah, and then the whole Wiz Khalifa thing where he was hiring a professional blunt roller for $50,000, and he hired Seth Rogen. It's like, oh, cool, thanks for putting a job out there, and then letting everyone know that was totally fake.
Right.
I thought that was Waka Flocka Flame.
Yeah, Waka Flocka. I don't know. They're all one color. Anyway.
Wow. Well, he's technically correct. Those people of that color are all indeed the same color. That is not incorrect.
But doing that and now...
you get that from your scientific forum?
No, that's from my sense of humor. I'm sorry. But the power I give racism is levity. I don't let it have control of my life.
No.
I'm not a racist.
Okay. So I'm going to send a link from the mistress to close out the show with. Apparently they're making a movie based on Tetris.
Yes. I've heard of this.
I like it.
This is a thing.
Tetris is one of my favorite games of all time. I played it until I got the Tetris.
Hopefully it's by a Russian director.
And it will be all about the wonderful
I'd
joys
watch it.
Of communism.
I'd watch it. I'd learn its values. I'd spread them.
Let me because I mean they're doing a movie based on Ouija board. The fucking thing you buy, Milton Bradley Ouija
that could be
board.
really cool. Some kid accidentally opens the gates of hell, the Ouija board or something.
Right.
Turns out this whole
Seth
Seth Green and James Franco thing. They're really the two demons coming.
Yeah. They made a movie out of battle. They made a Lego movie. At least those things involve places and things. Tetris is just stacking weirdly shaped objects in a confined space. It's like warehousing the movie.
Well, it says Threshold Entertainment is putting the live-action film together for the Tetris company. There is no director currently attached, but apparently a story is in place. It's a very big, epic sci-fi movie, Threshold CEO Larry Kasanoff says.
What?
That's vaguely Russian. Kasanoff. It could be Polish, though.
I mean, what?
Kasanoff.
What is it? It's just going to be security footage of people working in a warehouse? I don't understand.
This isn't a movie with a bunch of lines running around the page. We're not giving feet to the geometric shapes. Castanoff is best known for adapting Mortal Kombat fighting games into 2 films.
Oh, wow.
95's Mortal Kombat, 97's Mortal Kombat
All right,
Annihilation.
I'm in.
I am in!
I'm in.
Fuck it! You
Wow.
won me over.
Amazing.
Brands are the new stars of Hollywood, he says. We have a story behind Tetris, which will make you see it, which makes it a much more imaginative thing. What you will see in Tetris is the teeny tip of an iceberg that has intergalactic significance.
So it's going to be like Tron, the original Tron. Like the game actually matters on some level in the intergalactic, or is it like the Last Starfighter, where you're training to defeat? You're gonna build a wall. You ever seen that, the Last Starfighter?
It's like all we have are these broken blocks of our old society and no architect to put them together for us. Please, please help us. You're the only one that can do it before the invasion comes. Be our savior. Be our warrior.
They did that in South Park too with the golden PSP. Kenny commands the armies of heaven.
It's true.
That would be awesome.
Wow.
Tetris the movie.
So we'll keep an eye on that, and we'll bring you. We'll be your Tetris the movie news source right here on Untitled Nonsense.
Hitting the hard points.
We report, you decide. So with that, we're going to close out the show tonight. We appreciate you listening to Untitled Nonsense. We'll be back here next week for another all-new episode. Lewis will be back and better, hopefully, at that point. This is Josh Fauner. Thank you for listening. You can go to facebook.com/Untitled Nonsense, twitter.com/UN_podcast, Reddit, Untitled Nonsense, or UntitledNonsense.com. You guys want to say goodnight?
Like a boner in sweatpants, everybody. We're out.
Peace.
All right, many thanks to Mr. Keith Scott for coming on the show tonight. We'll be back here next week. Thanks for listening.